Welcome everybody to another rousing meeting of Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers. As you all know, Toastmasters is an organization that's volunteer that promotes leadership and speaking skills. And here we promote learning and laughing. So everyone learn something today and laugh as often as you like. With that being said, let's turn it over to our presiding officer, who is who is it today?
Mary.
Mary, she's going, that's me. Okay, go ahead, Mary.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome once again to a rousing session of the Roseburg Story Speakers and Storytellers. As the Vice President of Membership, I will be acting as our Executive Club Officer for today. And I want to welcome all the guests that are joining us today. Those that are joining for the first time and those that have been here before, we welcome you. And of course, our wonderful members. We have many of them and some new ones. We hope you guests will consider joining us and becoming a member of our club. I'd like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for the meeting. We call them the Toastmaster of the day, and that is Ravi. Ravi, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mary. Very warm good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good time of the day to everybody here today. Thank you for joining us from all over the world. I am the Toastmaster of the day today. My name is Ravi Shankar, and the theme for today is No Shave November, as you can see. What is No Shave November? This is a question that I had a few years ago. I looked it up online and I came to know that No Shave November is something that's been around for a very long time. However, in 2009, the Hill family reinvented No Shave November in order to raise money for charity after a family member, Matthew Hill, passed away from cancer sometime in late 2007. A lot of cancer patients lose their hair because of medications. The goal of No Shave November is to spread awareness by embracing our hair or what little we've got left. If I were to paraphrase Elsa from the movie Frozen, let it grow. Participants of No Shave November are encouraged to donate the money that they typically spend on shaving and grooming to educate about cancer prevention, saving lives, and aid those fighting the battle. I'll talk a little more about this movement, but a little later in the day today. For now, I would like to call upon our grammarian for the day, Stephen, to introduce the word of the day and also more about his role. Over to you, Stephen.
Okay, I'm Stephen Liu, who is a grammarian today. Thank you all. And the word of the day is accomplishment. So for grammarian, I will play an important role in helping you improve your grammar and vocabulary. I will write down the language and the grammar usage of all the speakers. And I will point out some kind of scenario, such as incomplete sentence, mispronunciation, grammar mistakes, and so on. At the end of the meeting, I will give you all the guys a complete report as needed. Okay, so this is my role for today. Thank you. Hand over to you, TMOD, Ravi.
Thank you, Stephen. I would now like to invite our counter for the day today, Toastmaster Ayu, to introduce us about the role.
Yeah, that's my role today. Counting the repeated word like I while you're thinking. So one tip that I would like to suggest is if you start going with your filler words, please use the pause or speak slower, because when you speak slowly, you will reduce your filler word. Let's aim of 0 filler words today. If we still have some, I will point it out at the end of the meeting on my report, when called upon Mary as our general evaluator. Over to you, Ravi.
Thank you, Ayu. And now I'd like to call our timer for the day today. And the timer for the day is none other than me. As the timer for the day today, I'll be keeping a time of all the prepared speeches as well as table topics. And I'll be presenting my report at the end, including the timing of each of the evaluators as well. For prepared speeches, we will have a timing of 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show the green card in my background. At 6 minutes, it will be the yellow. And at 7 minutes, it will be the red card. Speakers will have 30 seconds of grace time in order to finish once the red card is up. For table topics, we have between 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll show the green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, the red card and 30 seconds of grace time. For evaluators, speech evaluators, we will have 2 minutes for green, 2.5 minutes yellow, and 3 minutes on red. And towards the end of the meeting, I'll be back and I'll present my report, and I might also share it over the Zoom chat. That's it. And so back to me again as the host of the day. And I would now want to invite our general evaluator, Toastmaster Mary, to tell us about her role.
Thank you, Ravi. My role as the general evaluator is to lead the evaluation portion of the meeting. You've met some of the members of my team, the timer, the grammarian, and the counter. I also have 2 evaluators, Titin and Michelle, who will be giving both oral and written evaluation of our 2 speakers, giving them feedback, what they did well and what they can improve on. At the conclusion of the evaluation portion of the meeting, I will give a general evaluation of the meeting, things that we did well in the meeting and ways that we can improve to make it a better meeting. That's my role as the general evaluator. Before I leave, I want to make one other comment about our guests at the end of the meeting. Guests, we'd like you to come on and just tell us, we'll ask you this later, so I'm giving you time to think about it. Tell us how you found out about our Toastmasters group and what did you think about our meeting? We'll ask you that at the end. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Mary. When we began, I mentioned that the theme for today's meeting is No Shave November or Movember. About the No Shave November movement, volunteers, who are also known as no shavers, they have in the past 10 to 12 years, they've donated a lot of money, which is saved from the cost of grooming, be it on a few dollars for razors all the way to $100 for a salon visit. And they've helped the No Shave movement organize and raise over $10 million so far. However, what if you're not ready to get hairy? Well, there are many other ways that you can support those of us who are ready to do that. Just visit the No Shave site. And I think I'll also see if I can share the link for this in our Zoom meeting comments. Now, moving on, a typical Toastmasters meeting has 3 segments. We have the first segment, which is the prepared speech segment. Then we have the second segment, which is impromptu speaking or table topics. And finally, we have the evaluation segment, which is where we get feedback on the overall performance of the speakers, impromptu speakers, as well as the meeting itself from our general evaluator and our evaluators with them. So now let us begin our very first segment, which is the prepared speeches segment. For this, I would like to first invite our speaker number 1. Our first speaker today is Tiger, and I hope our evaluator for Tiger speech, that is Titan, has details of the speech that Tiger is going to present, the speech title as well. My bad, I don't know if I have that jotted down yet or not. So Tiger, would you want to share with us a little bit more about your speech?
Yes, I apologize for not getting that information out. My speech is called More to Give, and this is my entry for the International Speech Contest, which is coming up.
Okay. Okay, over to you, Tiger. Ready whenever you are.
Timer, you ready? My mom died in my arms at the age of 88. The last thing she said to me was, Tiger, please do not give up hope, because I know you have more to give. Sons and daughters, how would you feel at that moment? I felt jealous. More to give? I had no money. I had no job. I had no female companionship, and I was suffering from depression. The day after her funeral, I drove my car to the Oregon coast with one thing in mind. I was going to take my car and drive it off a cliff. I had contemplated suicide many times over the last few years, but today I was free. I had no one counting on me. As I drew close to that cliff, I apologized out loud to my mom. Mom, I'm tired, overwhelmed, I'm depressed. I have no more to give. The next morning, I got up, I grabbed my cup of coffee, and I went out on the deck. As I was watching the sunrise, it dawned on me that something was wrong, because I'm still alive. It was sunrise, it dawned on me. Then I heard a powerful, calm voice. Tiger, it was I who prevented you from committing suicide, because you have more to give. Wait a minute. My mom has been conspiring with God. That's not fair. As you can imagine, the next couple of days, I was discombobulated. I was confused. And then I got the phone call. Have you ever gotten that phone call? The one that has the ability to turn everything around? It was my former Toastmaster mentor. And she informed me that there was an online storytelling club that wanted me. With nothing to lose, I went ahead and showed up. I was warmly welcomed. It was a fantastic meeting. And afterwards, the president enthusiastically asked me if I would be a member. Ergo, I joined the club. Now, my icebreaker was quite an adventure. I talked about riding my bike as a kid, and I talked about playing American football. I talked about cutting trees in the woods. Meow. My evaluator, who is very experienced, gave me accommodations for great storytelling. And then he said, it's too bad that we missed half of it. because you were off screen. With some coaching on how to use this Zoom box, I went on to win the club's speech contest. How about that? Perhaps I have more to give as a storyteller. This gave me some confidence, and I went on to join a small local club. This club was struggling. The last meeting, there was only 3 of us. And the president, who was a large young man, put his hand on my shoulder, said, "Tiger, I have been deployed to Africa. You are now the president." I looked at the 2 of them and started to laugh. The president of what? But my partner, being an internal optimist, had this idea that we could turn this club into an international success. Ladies and gentlemen, this was before COVID. I thought she was out of her mind. However, with an assist from the pandemic, we soon turned this club into an international success. Perhaps I have more to give as a leader. Speaking of leadership, I would love to tell you that I got involved with district leadership out of the goodness of my heart, just to give back. I would love to be able to tell you that, but the truth is, I did it to impress a woman. Oh, come on. You guys have all done the same thing at one time or another in your life. Admit it. What I have come to find out today, Toastmasters is all about people. It's about the give and the take of relationships. I have been blessed with many opportunities to give. However, the amount that I've given is minuscule compared to what I've gotten back. I got my life back. My friends and fellow Toastmasters, are you tired? Are you overwhelmed? Or even depressed? Please do not give up hope, because we all have more to give. Toastmaster.
Thank you for that speech, Tiger. Now, after that really inspiring speech from Tiger, let's move on to our second speaker for the day today. We have Toastmaster Shilpa, who's going to present her speech titled Hand Yoga. It is from the Dynamic Leadership Pathway Level 1 second speech. And she'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Michelle. Toastmaster Shilpa, Hand Yoga. Hand Yoga, Toastmaster Shilpa.
Your health is in your own hands. Your health is in your own hands. Have you all heard it? I'm sure. We have all heard that idiom phrase. And in my speech today, I'm going to share just how. Yoga is something that I know our club is very familiar with. We have had our speeches about yoga and the benefits of it. But who knew that now we have something very specific that helps to channelize our energy through our hands into our bodies? Question, Where did it all start? How did you got into it? Cut back to 2019. I was in Belgium, no cars. 3 miles, believe me, 3 miles took half an hour to get from one point to other. I was like, okay, I need to make some use of my time. I will read a book. Gave me a headache. I thought I'll listen to some meaningful podcasts. Could not concentrate. So many people in the bus. It's like, okay. Then I was, as I like to read through posts, I was read about yoga. I was looking and I came across something called mudras. The power of yoga in your hands. No special equipment needed, no distraction there, and you can do it anywhere while waiting for half an hour in a Belgium office for your documents to be processed or in the bus. I will quickly share my screen to show you what it is. Just a quick glimpse. So this is all I have in the presentation to show. Hand yoga, the power of mudra. Mudra is a special word here. Mudra means basically a position in yoga, and it is ma, u, soft d, the, ra, a, mudra. I'll stop my sharing and let's demonstrate. There are many mudras. There are kind of more than 100 mudras. Some align with your 7 energy centers in the body, and everyone has specific benefits. For starters, I would like to ask everyone, raise your hand if you want to improve your immunity. I see some hands there. Raise your hand if you want to slim down your waist, increase your metabolism. Not to the unrealistic movie standards, but to a healthy one. Raise your hand if you want to get rid of the aches and pains in your body. Any hands, any takers there? Okay, I think we got a few here. So I'm hoping there would be something for everyone in today's speech. Let's just dive deep down into it very quickly. There we would be talking about, I would be sharing 3 hand mudras today. This is not the first one. The first one is the prana mudra. Feel free to practice with me and excuse my gestures if they seem offensive. This is just hand mudras. You have to bring down the 2 last fingers with your thumb in, and you have to keep the other 2 relaxed and straight. This is called the prana mudra. What do you mean by prana? Prana is the essential life element in us, and this increases the immunity. This increases the flow of energy, life elements in our body, and it is very useful. I would like to see, I see Mary doing it. Yes, you're perfect. I see Ravi doing it very well. All of you others I cannot see, but I would assume this. You got it all right. How amazing. You can do these mudras anytime you want. You do not need to do it for 10 minutes, 5 minutes. 2 minutes is good enough. Coming to the second one, this mudra is the air mudra. It's called the Vayu mudra. Vayu means air. It helps balance the airflow in the body. So the joints and the pains are caused by the excess air in the body, also flatulence like Maidana has. So this would help balance the air in the body. This is the Vayu mudra or the air mudra. And you have to press your first finger with the thumb. So we have covered the prana mudra, We have covered the air mudra, that is the Vayu mudra. And now the third mudra is the sun mudra or the Surya mudra. Across cultures, sun has been recognized as the most powerful life force. And in this sun mudra or the Surya mudra, we bring together the sun force. It helps us fire up the energy of the sun, helps us fire up the metabolism that generally slows down with time, our age, or due to some living practices. And this mudra would just do that, make your digestion and metabolism stronger. Now we have covered all the three mudras. There are many more. I will share the link with you in the chat. We come again to your health in your own hands, just like we saw. This is just the beginning. There is much more to go. One essential component is like, how do my fingers can carry all the health? Because these 5 fingers represent the 5 elements of the nature, and we will talk about that the next time. Thank you. Over to you, Rob.
Thank you for that speech, Shilpa, on mudras. I'm not sure if this is a mudra as well. Good speech. All right. Now with that, we've come to an end of our first segment, the prepared speech segment. The next segment is the table topic segment. Before we start that off and before I hand it over to Toastmaster Heidi, I would also want to quickly introduce a little bit more about the No Shave November movement. When I was researching about it, I came across something else that's called Movember, that starts with an M. I first thought that No Shave November and Movember were both the same thing and that they could be used interchangeably. However, I got to know that these are 2 different movements. The No Shave November movement started in the US and it's been continuing worldwide since then. The Movember movement is something that began in Australia. Back in 2003, 2 friends, or as they like to say in Australia, 2 mites from Melbourne, Travis and Luke, they met up at a bar and they were discussing fashion trends. This led them to talk about the mustache, aka the mo, which was not so trendy anymore. They decided to talk to some of their friends about growing a mo, and they drew a lot of inspiration from a friend's mother who was raising money for cancer. So they also decided to have the mo growing campaign to focus on men's health and prostate cancer. What began with about 30 men in 2003 has now grown to about a cumulative of over 7 million people across genders and across 20-odd countries as of last year. And they've been able to fund a lot of projects, well over 1,250 projects that are focused on improving men's health. So that's a little bit about the Movember movement. The Movember movement focuses only on growing mustaches, but if you recall, the No Shave November is about a beard, mustache, whatever it is, or you can just contribute even if you don't want to do that. Now that apart, let's get back to our meeting. I'd like to now call upon Toastmaster Heidi to lead us through the table topic segment. Over to you, Heidi.
Thank you, Ravis. Thank you for sharing the Movember. Yeah, I was also, from the last meeting, I was also dig on some information on internet, see what is about Movember. Yeah, as Ravis shared, that this is all about cancer, men's health, all this care about your health. And then it's more about cancer awareness, right? Everybody wants a good health, no matter how successful or how much accomplishment you made in your life, but without health, you cannot enjoy all of this, right? So also begin to talk this, and then I also learned some that cancer is actually, there's a lot of people suffered from cancer or even died. And this has become a global concern. But also cancer can be prevented if we know aware of these cancers. And in the early stage or do a regular detections, or live in a healthy lifestyle, or exercise, or good sleep or something. So this can be prevented if you do aware of this information. So I do hope everyone has a good lifestyle and good health. So my question is, I would pick up some of the members here to join this and share your stories about the cancer awareness, or what your lifestyle, or to help with you with a good health, right? And first, I would like call AU and Nascha, right? Sorry, she's not on. AU, right?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
my name is Ayu.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was.
It's okay. Would you like to want to be the first one to share that? Share anything that's like, do you know anyone that may got a cancer, and to be that or your friends or some acquaintance that has cancer and suffered with that, and what does it affect you or make your life change, or something that you want to share?
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Yes, my mom was having a breast cancer, like, I think it's about 10 years, or by now it's 15 years ago. The good thing is he was not suffering. Just the doctor said that there is a high in something when they find on the checkup sheet, and it needs to be removed. So my mom now only have one breast. She, at the beginning, she was, or everybody said, if you want to have like a toy to put in, so it seems like balance for the breast. Seems like she will still have two breasts. But later on, she said to us, no, I'm okay with this. And looking at my mom, very brave and even proud of what she been going through, and now she's actually in a very good situation, no more cancer. I would like to say, to invite everyone to always encourage every cancer patient to be proud of themselves and make sure that they are very important, and always support them in terms of emotional side, and they will live like normal people. That's my experience, and I hope this will help people to stay strong beside all those patients. Thank you for the question, Heidi.
Yeah, thank you, Ayu, for sharing. It's like, yeah, when someone something like cancer people occur to us, we really need to remove the stigma and fear attached, that we do more need to give them more encouragement and support to get them through. And then I would like to call the second one to the question. Elios, would you like to be the second one?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Do you know somebody who has the cancer and how has that affect you and would like to share your stories? Here's yours.
That's my question, right? Cancer, a friend or a family, right? Hello? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, what is the accomplishment of a friend? Yes, accomplishment of a friend is the one that always there for you during your high, your up, your top. No, that's not an accomplishment. That's only a friend that want to spend their time with you. But an accomplishment is the guy, the women, anyone that is will always be there with you when you are down, when you are below, when you are under the rock or rock's bottom. You are under water when you cannot breathe in, when you need to dive in. And when you face this, a friend with a cancer. My pastor's wife just died recently because of cancer. And I followed her during her journey to survive, but she cannot survive. And it took me a breath of it because I feel like I was with her during her last time, last days. It's basically like I'm counting days with her. I feel like I'm her husband that will always there for her to cheer her up. She is so hopeless. She was so, yes, beyond cured. She cannot do anything. She keep praying. We keep praying as a family in church. We tried our best to, yes, let God's will happen because God knows the best for us, for her, and for the family itself. So yes, God took her recently in this year, and still my prayer for her until now, because yes, she is impactful in my life. I back to church because of her. Back to you, TTM.
Thank you, Iris. We all will pray for her and she's great. Let's go to the next one. Our guest, right? Likis.
Yeah,
Would you like to give us your story
Yeah.
about this?
I did not personally meet anyone who was having this disease of cancer, but I remember in the last year my cousin has given her hair. She's a girl and she has given the hair to the cancer patients. And in the today's meet, I would like to appreciate Shilpa, who has done a very good job and in conveying the principles of yoga mudras and all, which that would I would like to give a positive comment for Shilpa. So, like you would be, I would like to say people who goes for physical activities, like going for gym or running or something. You could do some yoga as well. You can see in the YouTube and you can check out yoga and you could that would really help to overcome the normal small diseases and things like that. And yoga is a very good thing for back pain or any it gives it has lot of exercises like stretching exercises and all, which keeps the body fit, and I would like to pray for all the cancer patients. Like it's a very deadly disease, and that's That's a very deadly disease which don't have any medication. Even though it has a medication, it is a very long process of medication, and it's not sure also. We cannot say that take these pills and go to the take this treatment and you'll become rid of this cancer. So the two deadly diseases now in the world on the planet is HIV and cancer. So we should be, if there are any smokers, I would like to tell them, don't smoke lot of cigarettes and smoke something like, don't smoke lot. If they have any habit, minimize it and don't smoke much. Don't do any chain smoking, and if they are smoking, like, minimize the cigarettes. So that will also help people to avoid cancer, because once you get cancer, it's very difficult to become normal, and it will eat you. Cancer will it doesn't have any proper sure short medication so that you'll become a healthy one after cancer. So this is it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Likesh, for sharing. And then you mentioned the yoga. I am the yoga person. I really love that. And then I would do that every day. And yes, less smoking, it will help your lung. And then we still got time, right? Okay, we'll go to next one. And then how about Michelle?
Yes. Is it the same question?
Yes, same question. And
Thank you. At first, I thought I don't know anyone personally. And then I recalled many, many years ago, back before many of you were born, literally in the 80s. I was the HR manager of a manufacturing company, and the assistant to the manufacturing manager she discovered she had cancer. She was a single mom. She had a son, I think back then was about 8 or 9 years old. She was concerned about him. So she started looking for insurance that would accept her having a cancer diagnosis. That was very difficult because insurance companies would not cover anyone. Somehow, I think she managed to get a conditional acceptance that if she survived past 1 year from the diagnosis, then they would give the insurance to her son. So that was one aspect. I was amazed at how she was so focused on trying to provide for her son. And then the second thing is she would go for her cancer treatment and she would go to work straight from the treatment. She would go to work and, take phone calls, do the typing, do all the work. You wouldn't even know it, except if you went to the restroom, you would hear her, throwing up, but then she'd be back at her desk. I was just so impressed and amazed by her. She was one of the most inspiring people I saw. And fortunately, she managed to survive past 1 year. But unfortunately, after that, she passed away. It was so sad, but at the same time, I think she had served a purpose. And by the way, she never smoked. She ate healthy. So sometimes cancer will just affect whoever it is. And it is, like our guest said, one of the most difficult diseases in the world. And we pray for everyone and their family. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
thank you, Michelle. Yeah, sometimes disease hits our head without a warning, but when it comes, we need to be brave and still need to have the strength to live our life. And then I think we'll pick up the last one for this topic. I would like to call Tintin. Hello, Tin.
Okay, thank you so much for the chance for me to speak. Somehow I couldn't press the unmute button. Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Heidi, for this question. So about the person with cancer whom I know, then it would be my mom. So before she passed away because of the cancer and then the stroke that she had, I saw that it was not a good condition for her. So at first she had the stroke and then come up with the cancer. So when she would like to cure her cancer, then she couldn't do it because of the stroke that she had. So the medicine, I thought that it would be giving negative condition for her. If she choose to cure the cancer, then the stroke would be worsen and vice versa. So she had no much choice at that time, and then her situation was worsened. She was sent to the hospital, and only 3 months after she got the news that she had cancer and also the stroke, okay, because it happened more or less at the same time, and she left her family, she left me, okay, to continue with her journey in the next life. However, that might be the best for her because she is not in a painful situation anymore. Okay, she is now free from all of her pain, and I hope that she is healthier wherever she is now, and of course happier. So thank you for this question, that it reminds me, and it is such a reminder for us to protect our health better. Thank you, Toastmaster Heidi.
Thank you, Tintin, for sharing. And I'd like to give you a hug. I'm sure your mother will be healthier and happy. And then you see, we do need to, no matter what ages you are, we hope that we are healthy and we live without any regret. Even you are really depression right now, I hope you will find a way out and find your happy life and healthy and enjoyed it. So this is all the table topic section. Back to Toastmaster Revis. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie, for involving everybody and asking them to share their stories. I think I put it in the chat and I'll share that again here on the video. I got so involved in listening to Ayu speaking that I forgot as the timer rolled to keep a track of our time. But I think Michelle and I have managed to keep it approximately. So thank you very much, Eddie. And before we begin our third segment for the day, I would also like to share a bit of a personal story. I've had relatives in my family and someone who's very close to me. Both my mom and my mom-in-law have been are cancer survivors, and it was a very tough time when we went through those times when they were suffering, and they came out strong. So I'm very happy for them and that they were able to survive. But at the same time, my heart goes out to all of those of us who lost relatives to that disease. And that is one of the reasons why for the past few years, I've been trying to increase awareness about this. And I celebrate No Shave November. So with that, I would like to hand it over to our general evaluator for kicking off our third segment for the day, the evaluation segment. Did we lose Mary? Mary, are you there?
Sorry, yes, I getting mess.
I think looks like Mary is having trouble with her internet connection. While we wait for her to get back, maybe I can take it forward while
My
we
internet
wait
is
for her to-
unstable. It keeps dropping. Thank you. Yeah, can you hear me at all? Let's see. I can hear you.
Yes.
Now you can hear me
Yes, we can
okay?
hear you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a message. My internet is unstable, so it keeps dropping.
All right. So while we wait for Mary to get back online, I would like to call upon the evaluator for Tiger Speech. Tiger Speech will be evaluated by Titan. So over to you, Titan.
In and out. I'll do my best. If I'll pop back in.
Okay, thank you. So I suppose it is my time for the evaluation. Toastmaster Tiger, it is such a privilege for me to have a chance to evaluate your contest speech on this Movember. And there are three things that I think your speech excels in. The first one, you started with a touching personal story between you and your mom. It is very much authentic because it is your own personal story. And then second, you had the great body gestures and then facial expressions, the hand movement. So it was very much emphasizing to the message of your speech. Third one, you inserted a humor in your message. So your message is about the essence of Toastmasters, of joining Toastmasters, and how Toastmasters have brought benefits in your life tremendously. And I would like to analogize your speech with this cup of tea because I like to drink tea. And as how I usually drink my tea, I add 3 teaspoonful of sugars, which I use this to translate to the 3 humble suggestions that you might want to take. My first suggestion is that perhaps it will be good if your body movements do not exceed this zoom frame. So it is still within the zoom frame. Second, you may want to provide a prop to support your speech. As I'm a visual learner, so I would appreciate very much if you could provide, let's say, the picture of your mom who has inspired you a lot. And the third one is you may want to provide a call to action as a small homework for the audience for their betterment. So in conclusion, I like your impressive speech with the inspirational message about the benefits of joining Toastmasters, and then you utilize the vocal variety, facial expressions, body language very well. And to throw you a challenge, you might want to provide a call to action and a picture, as a picture speaks 1,000 words, so that we can get more mesmerized in your speech and remember your speech for a longer period of time. So congratulations, Toastmaster Tiger, for delivering such a touching and inspirational speech for us. Keep inspiring and warming people's heart by providing a cup of tea complete with the sugar. And having said that, I would like to raise my glass and cheers to wish you all the best for your contest. Back to you, Toastmaster of the meeting or the GE. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Titan, for that evaluation of Tiger's speech. Now I'd like to invite the second evaluator for today, Michelle, to evaluate the speech that was delivered by Shilpa.
Okay, sorry, my mouse wasn't opening. Yes, Shilpa, thank you so much for that very informative speech. I loved how you started. I liked that you showed us your hands, and then you said that your health, we've all heard the saying, your health is in your hands. And said that today you will talk to us about how you actually have your health in your hands. I like that in that opening caught my attention, and note that I was still half asleep and it still caught my attention. So you did a fabulous job here. Your use of gestures were excellent. I was following along just like Mary and several others. They were very clear. You held your hands up just right. It wasn't blocking your face like this. You had it here, and it was high enough for us to see. Very good use of gestures. I also like your pacing. It was informative, and you spoke just slow enough for us to pick up, but not too slow that it becomes boring because it's so slow. Your pace was just right. I really enjoyed it. And I liked how you explained the background. I would love to have maybe a link to hand yoga so we could practice it. I actually realized as I was following your gestures that it wasn't so easy for me. There was a little pain on the upper part or the lower part of my fingers, which means probably that it's really important we do that. I was also thinking about the force be with you, or what is that? The Star Trek thing. Maybe they knew space yoga, huh? Maybe that's the other movement of yoga. Now, suggestions for improvement. I was so engrossed in your speech that I didn't really focus on suggestions for improvement. But maybe there were a couple, like towards the end, when you suddenly mentioned the 5 fingers, but you will talk about it another time. Then either you could have mentioned it earlier, the value of the 5 fingers, or maybe just not mentioned it. I'm not sure, but it felt a little bit rushed. And I was remembering that you said the first time your evaluator said it was a little bit rushed. You did very well this time. You did not keep on mentioning you were unprepared, because of course you were prepared this time. The only other suggestion I think is when at the start, I was, and now I'm the one who's mentally blocking. I was thinking you could have said something other than how you introduce the gestures, and I will review the video and recall what I wanted to tell you about. But right now, I'm sorry, I'm spacing out myself. Not enough coffee yet. So back to you, Mr. General Evaluator slash tabletop, Toastmaster.
Ravi?
Thank you, Michelle. Yes, Mary, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you all. I apologize for that. It's saying my internet's unstable. I moved to a different room, so hopefully we'll have better connectivity now. Let me continue on with the evaluations. I'd now like to call upon IU as our counter to tell us how we did in using filler words or not using filler words. IU, are you there? Maybe she stepped away. Let's go on and give the grammarian report, and we'll come back to the counter. Stephen, could you give us the grammarian report and how we did on using the word of the day? I know we had a lot of accomplishments today. So
yes, yes, yeah.
Over to you.
Okay, let me share my report with you guys. So, as for regarding the word of the day, the good thing is only one person, ET, using this word frequently. he almost used 5 times for this word accomplishment, and Heidi used one time, once, and overall, all the speakers didn't make a major mistake, such as incomplete sentences, and such as the grammar mistake, and such as the some kind of mispronunciation issue happen. So overall, all the speakers show a very good, grammar, and also can speak fluently, and can express the idea clearly to all the audience. Thank you all. So that's my overall report for today.
Thank you, Stephen. Well done. You did a lot
Thank
of
you.
accomplishments today. Now I'm
Mm.
using the word of the day a lot. I should have done it earlier.
Mm.
Now I'd like to call upon our counter, Ayu, to tell us how we did on getting rid of those filler words in our speeches. Over to you, Ayu.
Thank you, Mary. I am very sorry for my fellow Toastmaster. It was somebody at the door, so I greet her first. Then I come back to the meeting. Well, I think we did quite good. I heard like the most, you see, I just did it. That's one. And then Haiti. I only heard Haiti a little bit struggling with the words but I said, Haiti, you did really good as the topic master when you have to say a lot and you did have that a little bit. It's very I can understand that. Like me, when I talk a little bit more, then the filler word can come, or the repeated words goes out. So, other than that, we did really good. So good job, RSS. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you, Ayu. Well done on your report. And finally, our timer / Toastmaster of the day. Could you give us our timing, how we did? Ravi, over to you.
Thank you, Mary. As the timer for the day today, here is my timer report. In the prepared speech segment, Tiger took 7 minutes and 9 seconds for his speech. Shilpa took 7 minutes and 17 seconds for her speech. In the table topic segment, Ayu took approximately 2 minutes is what we'll count it as, although I don't have an exact count of the amount of time she took. Ilios took 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Likhit took 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Michelle took 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And Titin took 2 minutes and 21 seconds. For the evaluations, Titin evaluated Tiger's speech. She took 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And Michelle was evaluating Shilpa's speech, and she took 3 minutes, 15 seconds. That's my report. And the reason time is important is because it's very limited, and the less the less we use it in one place, the more of it we have to use in another place. For example, I skipped work meetings to be here today. Don't tell my manager. Back to you, Mary.
Thank you, Ravi. And now my overall evaluation of the meeting. I think it was a well-run meeting, an excellent example of how a Toastmaster meeting should be run. We had all the 3 elements that make a successful meeting. We had 2 prepared speeches. We had some awesome table topics to practice our impromptu speaking. And lastly, we had an outstanding evaluation team that gave us feedback on things that we did well and things that we can improve on. So all in all, this was a very good meeting. And I thank all of you for taking on your roles and getting here just a little bit early to make sure that we had the agenda filled out. That was great. I want to say particularly to Titin, I really loved the creativity that you did in your evaluation. I missed part of it, but I got in there just as you got that cup of tea, and I was like, wow, What a creative way to give an evaluation. So I wanted to give a shout out to you. Well done. I apologize for my internet problems. Nothing you can do about it other than I guess I'll need to switch rooms, try it from a different room. But my overall evaluation is I think we just need to keep doing what we're doing. We're getting a lot of guests that want to join because they see the value of this outstanding group of people from all over the world. I know I look forward to my Monday mornings and seeing all of you. So that's my evaluation. Back to our Toastmaster of the day for his final closing of the meeting, and then he can send it back to me as the lead officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mary. Just as we started off, the prepared speech segment is when I realized that there's something important that I forgot to do when we started the meeting, and that was to have our guests share a little bit about themselves and tell us what brought them here. So I thought maybe this is a good time to do that now, since we have ended our meeting early. We have Likhit, who's here. I attended an in-person meeting yesterday and I bumped into Likhit over there, and I shared about the marvelous group of people that I meet with every Monday. And I asked those folks in that meeting to join me here today, and Likhit is here from that meeting. So Likhit, would you want to share a little bit about what brings you to Toastmasters and anything else that you have in mind?
So yeah, I feel like this meeting was very good. And I thank Ravi for inviting me to this international meeting of Toastmasters. And thank you, Ravi. Thank you for giving me the link. And I really love the way today, like everyone spoke and we exchanged a lot of thoughts and ideas, mainly about cancer. And I would like to join again and again here on this meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, Likhit. You're always welcome. Next time, bring along a friend. That's way we'll have more people joining us. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. And with that, I'll now hand it over back to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Mary.
Okay, I'd like to give Ilias a minute just to talk about his club, and he's been a guest several times to our club, and he, I think, enjoys coming, but he's got a really interesting background. Ilias, do you want to tell us about your club and a little advertisement, and what do you do that's got that wonderful background?
Oh, hello everybody. I'm from Empire Toastmasters. Titin is my clubmate here, and TTMIU was our area director and now our division director. We both run a lot from TTMIU Anandia here. And anything else that you want to know, Mary?
You said it was on you meet the first and third Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Yes.
At
Yes,
7
and
p.m.
for the third Tuesday of this month, we will have contest. So I will participate in international speech and double topic. Titin also participate in international speech. So yes, best of luck for both of us, and we are going to try our best to represent our club to the area. So yes, that's from me. Back to you, Mary.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm just curious about your background. It says learn from the best. Is that something, are you a mentor or do you have some sort of a program that you work
Oh
with?
yeah, if you are asking about this background, I
Yeah.
have been conducting a lot of keynote speech, workshop speech, educational speech, and also panelist speech about podcasting, about comedy, and soft skills. So my nearest schedule is a podcast for this month, a humor this Wednesday, and soft skills 2 class in December. So yes,
Oh,
if
that's
you
cool.
want to book me, you can contact me directly. Back to you.
Oh, great. Thank you, Ilya. So we're honored to have you here, as well as Ligeth and all our, now Titin and Haiti, I don't know if you are members or guests or what, but I wasn't sure if you've joined us.
Me here, I'm the guest. I'm not a
Okay,
member.
good. Well, we're glad you're here. Yeah. And I think
Yeah,
Tita,
enjoyed
are
it.
you? Yeah, well, maybe you might consider joining us in the future. Any of our members, before we do final announcements and closing, is there any anything that the members want to share? Tiger, I'd like to know when your contest is that we could maybe join in and support you.
That is a really good question. Because I'll be representing a club, and we will not have a club contest. So I will not be competing until the area contest, which I believe is in February. So
Oh, so
I
sometime
still have some time, but yes, I will definitely let everyone know. I'm not going to compete for RSS because I want other people from RSS to represent our division. I'm going to be competing in a whole nother division. So I want to encourage everybody in RSS, but there's 2 speech contests, international and humorous. Robbie's going to be in the humorous contest. He doesn't have an option.
I'll be there, Tiger.
So I'm putting a shout out. We need participants from this club to represent District A, Division A. RSS has represented Division A for all the contests the last 2 years. So it's time for us to do the same thing again.
Right. I neglected to mention what an outstanding job our Toastmaster today did on the theme. I had never heard of this. No shave in November and Movember. So I learned something new, and then the yoga learned something new about some ways to relax. Great meeting. I hope you all was as inspired by this last hour as I've been. And I hope you'll come and join us next Monday, same time, same station here, same Zoom link.
Mary,
And,
I want to add something.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. So it's a big accomplishment for me that I would be presenting at the Toastmasters Leadership Institute for District 7 this year, both on Friday night and Saturday afternoon. And the topic of my presentation would be checklist for a perfect speech. We all know how to give good speeches, but somehow we miss one thing or the other. And this checklist might just help you to tick off all the boxes, ensure you have a perfect speech in hand. Please do attend and show your support. I would appreciate that.
Okay, could you share that Zoom link with us in an
Yes,
email?
that
Okay.
would be the link to the District 7 TLI. I would send that in time when we have it. But all the officers, all the members in the District 7 and more would be getting that link.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that is Friday, this Friday and this Saturday.
That
Friday
is on December 3rd and December 4th.
Oh, December 3rd and 4th. Okay. Great. Yes, definitely want to support you there. Okay, any last nickels? And then we'll turn it over to Shilpa to ask, or is it, no, I guess Ruku is not here, for our meetings for next week to see, I can just write down if somebody wants to sign up for roles for next week. I know Amy signed up for next week. Any last minute comments before we then do the roles? Go ahead, Ayu.
No. Yeah, please adjourn first and then we can do.
Oh, okay. I guess Tiger is serving as our sergeant at arms. So Tiger, do you want to close the meeting and then we'll continue on with roles?
I'll go ahead and officially close this meeting. Wonderful meeting, everybody. 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. So we can stop the recording.